But the last pope retired, so it was possible to meet here at the papal summer residence in the hills south of Rome. The older, former Pope Benedict said that the new man should pray in the place of honor reserved for the pontiff. But Pope Francis said no, they were brothers and they should pray side by side. But this whole idea of there now being a pope and an ex-pope in the Vatican is strange news.
Pope Francis prayed before Poland's holiest shrine, the Black Madonna of Jasna Góra. The Pope was also planning to tour the grounds of the former Nazi extermination.
The statue of Our Lady of Madonna is black. So this black color could be the expression of sorrow, because according to the Christian tradition, Virgin Mary was knowing from very beginning that her child, her son, will be suffering, and this color is expression of her sorrow. There is another explanation relating to the book Solomon's Song of Songs, where the girl is saying, in spite that I am black, I am the beautiful. So this is two explanations, but there is also another explanation that is saying that this wood, it's ebony, is very good and very strong wood, that the material is very precious, that is fitting to be used for the statue of Our Lady.
Every year in the Philippines in January, millions of people celebrate the Black Nazarene or Black Jesus.
The statue of Black Jesus is paraded down on a street in Manila, and it is believed that the statue has healing power.
Many people try to touch the statue or even throw a handkerchief or a white towel to rub on the statue. My grandmother watches the procession on TV every year and will even rub the TV with one and then rub the handkerchief on any part of her injuries.
It has done miracles for lots and lots of people.
Jesus, can you hear me? I don't know where else to turn it. I'm desperate. I need your help.
I can hear you, my son. I have always been listening.
Who are you?
Russian icons by Father Vladimir Ivanov, recently rediscovered, we find the most interesting collection of Christian icons. It is of high interest for two reasons. Number one, it depicts the various Christian icons as black. And number two, this is not found in Western Europe, but well in Eastern Europe and Russia. This means that black people were venerated as deities from Spain to France, Italy, Germany, and all the way to Russia. In some, all over Europe. There are at least 500 Black Madonnas in Europe, not counting the ones hidden in the Vatican, 128 in France alone. And you need to remember that these icons survived multiple waves of iconoclasm. This means that in the past, they would have been ubiquitous throughout Europe, before the great artists like Michelangelo and Leonardo were commissioned to start painting the classic Europeanized face of Jesus that we know today. So then, as always, if we ask the critical questions, if the mainstream historical narrative is true, and that black people have never achieved anything of note in history, why then were they depicted and venerated all over Europe? Even more intriguing, what were black people doing in so many depictions, descriptions, sculptures, and plays in Europe at all? For those who have been listening, it is simply because they were present in such numbers, and it yielded such influence that even the planned erasure and systematic destruction of the icons survived from Western Europe to Eastern Europe, from Germany to Italy.
And that, my friends, is called hypocrisy. A black man can steal your stereo, but he can't be your savior.
What's up, family? Back again. And if it's your first time, welcome to the channel. So, when I first stumbled on this video, I had already seen a couple other things, like the video of Vladimir Putin, the president of Russia, opening up this beautiful little, it looked like a cabinet of sorts, or like a clock of sorts of, but it was very pretty.
As the Ukraine-Russia war drags on, Russian President Vladimir Putin has decided to move one of Russia's holiest icons from a museum to a Moscow cathedral. This arises a debate around Putin's growing reliance on the church.
Emphasizing on the importance of the holy icon, Putin ordered Andrei Rublev's Trinity be transferred to the Russian Orthodox Church from Moscow's Tretyakov Gallery for a year. The relocation of Russia's most well-known icon highlights how closely the war has intertwined politics and religion. It is a 15th century artwork which is all set to take its place in the Cathedral of Christ the Saviour. The icon depicts the Oak of Mamre, where the three angels visited Abraham in the book of Genesis. The researchers of the Russian Orthodox Church are arguing that this transfer of icons is a political move on behalf of Putin. He wants to keep the church on his side in this war by showing his respect to the religious institution. The West claims that Putin is framing the war as a battle for the survival of Russia.
Now this is in Russia. So you just watched them give a couple explanations for why the tone or the color is dark. One, the guy said, well, she knew her son would be suffering, and she wanted this to show that she knew that he would be suffering. That don't necessarily correlate, because the suffering of black people came thousands of years later. Also, I don't think she made any of the sculptures. I don't think she drew any of the pictures, painted any of the pictures. So did she go to everybody all over in all these other countries and tell them that she wanted it painted that way too? So that don't make sense. The other explanation, what did he say? It was the wood that they used. So they used wood in the pictures too? Everything but these were black people. Yeah, I told y'all there will be no pointing fingers and saying, look what they did this time. We just gonna show y'all what's going on. All right, this is crazy. Now, you got my main interest in this family was I asked my friend and I asked a few people, and they all come with the same answer. I said, well, who were you taught to worship? He said, well, I was taught to worship Jesus. You know, you get a few gods in there. I was taught to worship God, you know. But when you look at where the books that we use come from, it comes from people who are actually bowing down to the picture of, or the sculpture of this black lady and her black son. Y'all tell me, am I crazy, or, I mean, what? You know, excuse me. Family, I don't think we should take credit for like building the pyramids. There are a lot of things that I don't think black people should be taking credit for. Okay, I think the pyramids were here and they served a purpose for a different type of people before us. Okay, that part. I'm not saying we weren't around, but the state that the version of us we are in now, I don't think that was the version of us that was operating things like the pyramids, especially on all these different continents, because the pyramids aren't just one place and they aren't just one shape. I just think, you know, yes, we are in a so-called boycott right now, or we are, in my opinion, I think we are in an awakening, you know, more, to me, would be more of what's going on, because, you know, people get tired, you know what I mean, and people start using the internet, and people start listening. I mean, I remember 10 years ago when cats like Sarnetto was doing his thing on the streets in Harlem, and interviewing and allowing all these different brothers to speak and give their information. I remember one of the brothers said, and I ain't gonna call his name because he's under a lot of fire right now, but he did say something that made sense to me. He said that, you know, when black people in our situation are growing up, when they are kids, you know, they are getting their education, they are getting their learning for most of the time from people who don't look like us. So it make it harder for us when we get older to listen to our own people when they start saying things that really make sense. You know, we'd be like, oh, he's crazy, or that dude thinks he know everything, or, you know, he's on that black power tip, you know, all of that madness. Man, bottom line, I don't care what color you are. We are all being lied to, okay? We are all being lied to. I just had a situation in the elevator. I swear this happened. I swear this happened. This was early this morning. So I went to the parking garage because I left something in the car. And on my way back, I was coming to the elevator, and the little foyer right there in between both sides of the elevators was full of people. We were all waiting for elevators, up and down. So when the down elevator came, because I was only going one floor down, When the down elevator came, it was an older black couple on the elevator already. And this white lady and her kid tried to cut me off and run in front of me to get in the elevator. But then when they saw this black couple in there, the white lady was like, oh, and she backed out, you know. She didn't look up to see if the elevator was going up or down. Nobody behind her said it was, no. She just saw a black couple in there and know I was going in there, and she backed out. So the black couple was like, we don't care about you not coming in here. And I felt like that too, you know. I felt like, well, hey, shoot, hey, y'all still standing there while I'm getting to my destination, you know. So that didn't matter to me. But it just goes to show you that, you know, there's a whole lot of people being lied to. White people, you included, okay? They never told you about the Visigoths and the Vandals who came down out of Northern Europe and was terrorizing y'all in the Iberian Peninsula. Spain, Greece, Italy, Portugal, all of those little countries that run down the southern part of Europe, okay, that sits right above Africa, Egypt, and all of that stuff. And they didn't tell you that it was a black army that came out of Morocco. Tariq ibn Said, his army came out of Morocco and came into the Iberian Peninsula and ran those people off from y'all, okay? Y'all didn't even save yourself then. All right, it was somebody else who did that. On top of that, the history goes that you guys didn't have plumbing. You guys didn't have a whole lot of things. The history goes that the kings and queens of Europe at that time slept in their barns with the animals. And it was black people came and straightened all of that out. Now, this ain't a racial video. This is just to show you that we are all being lied to, okay? No one is better than the other, but we are all being lied to, straight up. If you stayed to this point, family, I want to say thank you watching me and supporting me, and I appreciate that, like I always say. If you like the video, please like the video. Please give me your comments on what you think about what you saw in the video. Give me your comments on what you think about what I said. I'd appreciate that also. I answer the comments. Sometimes I have to get rid of some people's comments because they just, you know, this ain't a place for bigots, okay? This is a place for people to speak freely, yes, but speak freely with some respect for other people, okay? You can do that. That ain't that hard. And again, I thank you, family. Salute.